Now let's talk about the money race, because as we all know, getting elected president cannot be done without money. So with regards to money, Pete Buttigieg, the 37-year-old mayor of South Bend, Indiana, raised $7 million in 2019's first quarter. You got to give that guy some respect, man. That guy is on fire. Beto O'Rourke says he raised $9.4 million. Whoa. Well, that's pretty awesome. He already had kind of a national following. Not quite as impressive at Buttigieg, but more money. So, go Beto. Kamala Harris raised a total of $12 million since announcing her candidacy in January. So, that's some serious power. Bernie raised $18 million. So that's in the first 6 weeks of his campaign. And our man Andrew Yang raised $1.7 million from 80,000 donors in March and February alone, far outpacing what the $659 he raised between October 17 and December 18. So $1.7 million for Yang, not too shabby. So that's the money race. I would summarize it as saying you've got these kind of 800-pound gorillas like freaking Beto, $9 million, and Harris, $12 million, and old Booty at $7. Those are like close to $10-ish million candidates. Then you got Bernie with 20. And you got Lil Yang coming up at 1.7 million, which is not bad considering that all the other people I mentioned, Bernie, Harris, Beto, well, except for Buttiegieg, had kind of a national presence. Buttiegieg did have the CNN town hall, and that created this snowball of coverage. So again, Andrew, if you're listening to this, bring your A game at CNN, man. I don't know. I'm not going to give you advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube. But good luck, man. I think you're going to do great. All right, next we're going to look at Google search trends. So first, let's start with a 30-day view of Yang versus Beto versus Buttigieg versus Kamala. I'm excluding Bernie and Biden because we know they're kind of the quasi-incumbents. First thing when you look at this 30-day chart is a very big surge for the yellow line, which is Pete Buttigieg. You'll also notice a really disturbing crash for Beto, who is kind of hot stuff not that long ago. And he's really starting to drift down and fall behind Harris and Yang, who are kind of battling for second place in this sort of category of the next generation of leaders in the Democratic Party. In terms of where Yang is strongest, it appears that Alaska, at least for the last 30 days, is where he's the strongest. That kind of makes sense. Maybe that's because they know about the oil dividend there and they kind of feel like that works. Maybe they're up for the freedom dividend. If we break down and compare them all, in Iowa, he's second place behind Buttigieg in search volume for the last 30 days. And Harris is third and Beto's at 8%. And then in New Hampshire, you've got Buttigieg number 1, and Yang, again, number 2, Harris number 3, and Beto really struggling, 4th. That's the last 30 days. Let's go to the last 7 days in case something happened very recently. If you go to the last 7, what do we see? We see major spike of interest in Buttigieg, and you see a nice spike for Yang as well. Yang and Buttiegieg are kind of like the hot hands in terms of internet searches relative to this bucket of 4. Beto struggling. Harris also not doing so great. She's kind of in a weak 3rd. And then if you look at last 7 days, how they're doing in the key states, Iowa, you've got Buttiegieg number 1, Harris and Yang pretty much tied for number 2, Beto distant 3rd, and New Hampshire for the last 7 days of search activity. You've got Buttiegieg really doing well, 71%, and you've got Harris and Yang tied 14-14, Beto at 1%. In terms of what people are searching for the last 7 days, Yang's getting a lot of search action for National Action Network when he presented to the African American group led by Al Sharpton. You see searches for Ana Cabrera, which makes sense because I think she's going to be one of the moderators for his town hall, and George Stephanopoulos, which also makes sense because I think he's on there today, Sunday. Yeah. Hey dude, I'm recording. Oh. In terms of searches for Beto, you got searches for his fundraising, Bernie Sanders fundraising, not that many interesting searches. For Buttiegieg, searches for All Lives Matter, Ezra Klein, how to pronounce his name, and he was on Good Morning America. And then Kamala Harris, you've got searches for labor pool, Tim Ryan, gun control, and Henry Winkler. So net, if you're talking about search, I would say it is a Buttiegieg world, followed by Yang, with Harris 3rd, and Beto just losing steam. I'm going to call it, I'm going to say Beto may have peaked with that Vanity Fair cover. I think people may be noticing that, they want a little more substance. And he's got a lot of charisma. He's got that JFK thing going. But I think people need to see more. Now, let's look at betting. Because the Google Trends idea, I got to give credit where credit's due, came from Rob. So thank you, Rob. And the betting idea came from Papillion. So let's look at the betting odds. Here's a European website. I don't think betting on politics is legal in most states in the US. But the odds, people say that the betting odds are the best indicator because people care a lot about their money when they're betting. In order, you've got Bernie, Harris, Beto, Biden, Buttiegieg, Yang, and then everybody else. So Yang's in the top 6. He's above Warren, Booker, Klobuchar, Tulsi, Gillibrand, so that's kind of exciting. However, I would say that it's interesting, given that we're seeing Beto struggle on search, would we want to bet against him? Because he is paying out 1-4. Well, this is not a gambling channel, but it'll be interesting. Let's see if Beto's odds get worse than 1-4 next time we look at this. All right, folks, that ends part 2. Part 3 I will upload tomorrow, and we will cover social media velocity as well as some policy stuff about the Supreme Court. So we will see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to be the first to know when we have new Nerds for Yang videos. Keep it real. If we get to, I think we're at like a little less than 500 subs. Let's see if we can get to 750 in this week, so that that can motivate me to make more of these videos. Because I tell you, I've been shooting now for 30 minutes, but the editing is going to take me like several hours. So it is a labor, and I'm totally keen to do it as long as I know people are appreciating it and it's useful and it's having some impact. Thanks in advance for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, and look forward to hearing from you all. Peace.